All right, what up? So, it is currently the end of the day of my 21st birthday. And while most people are drinking, I rather do this. I rather, start off the podcast. And I mean, I guess I want to talk about this topic for myself to kind of just figure out a couple things. Um, just for myself, I need to figure out a couple things, but I think it's a good topic to talk about all around. And that topic being what really drives us, what really drives people, what drives mankind. Um, because I think I know what drives me to an extent. I have some sort of past, and I feel like I have a reason for doing things. I feel like there's a reason why I'm here and why I have to do what I got to do. But there are also many reasons why people are driven, and you know, I mean, there's many different answers, but I also feel like it could come down to one if you understand what I mean, and that's what I'm gonna try to narrow down here. So, um, let's see. Let's just start off with me personally. Me personally, I feel like I have a purpose. I feel like I have a purpose to lead, to change people's minds, to actually, expand my potential to its max capacity and to make the best of it, and to continue that down through my lineage to when I have kids and so on and so forth. That's what I feel like I'm here to do. Or whatever comes my way, I just got to take it. Well, not just take it, but take action and accept what's coming at me, and go after it or react however I have to act accordingly. But yeah, so what else? I mean, but there's so many other things that drive people, man. Because I see people of today, and what drives them, and it's kind of just mind-boggling. Because a lot of people today, they just they're motivated by some dumbass shit. They're motivated by, just how people perceive them on the internet. Like you also got all these so-called Instagram models. Really these hoes posting their asses, and I mean, like, I don't understand why they need that much attention. You know, that's just me. I don't understand that. Um, but you see them. It's part of what drives them is that attention, and for people to kind of glorify them. It makes them feel some sort of security. I think that's really we're gonna come down to a security, because there are different things, different emotions that drive people, such as you could do something while you're angry, you could do something while you're sad or whatever. You could do stuff. Really, any emotion could trigger some sort of action. But what's the driving force to what we really want? Because a lot of what shapes society are two things: is structure and war and chaos. So structure, when it comes to societies that had structure, you could think of all the ancient ones to even the ones of this day, even though I don't think this one's too structured. Modern day society, I mean, because people today, they think they're smart. They ain't even that smart at all. What it is that we are more advanced technologically than ever. However, the people making that technology are the ones who are really smart. It's not the people using it. Because I guarantee you, a lot of the people using it, they don't know jack shit. They're dumb as hell. That's why we have people signing up, and I don't think everyone's going to go, but that's why we have people getting ready to go to Area 51, even though the U.S. military already gave out a warning that they are going to, in quotes, protect the United States and their assets. So I mean, but there's still people stupid enough to do that, and I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but basically, I think it's just setting up what's gonna be an uproar. So the news and the media is gonna find a way to spin that, but that's another topic for another day. Um, but let's see, man. I mean, for the most part, today people just want acceptance. People need some sort of attention. Most people today are attention whores. They need some sort of a self-aggrandizement, if I'm saying that right, or if I'm not, oh well, I'll figure that out some other time. But it comes down to people just don't really have any moral guidance. You have so many different beliefs that today kind of clashing to the point where people want to make peace. People don't want to come to conclusions. People just want to make some sort of peace by tolerating everything, and not just tolerating, also accepting everything. And the way that you really grow is through debate, is through finding conclusions. But people don't want to do that because they're afraid of conflict. So, I mean, what drives people today is this whole nonsensical notion of, oh, just be kind and be peaceful. Now, you should always be respectful to people. You should always be kind. But man, people just want to accept everything like that. They go against their own beliefs to accept and promote things that don't align with what they claim to believe in. I'm not one of those people, like there are certain things that I believe in and, certain things that I don't. And basically, I'm cool with everybody, but, if certain things don't align or, that person doesn't want help or I can't help that person to the point where I could try to, see what they could do, then, said I could only associate with people to a certain extent. Now, it doesn't mean like everyone has to be like me. Everyone has to believe what I believe. But kind of in terms of values and morals and ways of thinking to an extent, So that's the way that I view it. But yeah, that's today. But you also look throughout history. And throughout history, you've always had these big societies that, everything was power driven. Everything was some sort of, you needed power, you need to create war to obtain certain, land or certain types of, just certain materials. So, obviously the materialistic part is part of the driving, but what's the driving force behind that? What makes people so just want to just kill people even to, just get what they want? What is that driving force, man? Or what's the driving force that makes people want to go out of their way to do the right thing as well? Sometimes I wonder the same for me because sometimes I feel like, I want to do the right thing, but, I kind of get slapped in the face. But at the same time, I know that my reward has to pay off sometime. I can't be naive and just blindly do, good. I also have to be wise about what I'm doing as well. But even though, I get slapped in the face a couple times, life slaps me in the face and lets me know that, what I'm doing at the moment's not good enough or whatever, you always have to continue. You always have to keep your integrity. Integrity is what's important, and a lot of people no longer have integrity. A lot of people have dismissed, like I said, they dismissed the morals. And I think why that is because society today is a lot more liberal than they've ever been. Now, I'm not talking about in terms of politics like Democrat or Republican, because I really think that that's bullshit. Like, I don't believe in the whole political spectrum to begin with. I think that's a whole bunch of nonsense. If you want to create a change in your life, you're going to have to do that for yourself. You're not going to have to rely on people in the government or whatever higher powers to do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. And really, that just comes with anything. People are only going to make massive changes in their life if they really want to for themselves. You cannot try to make someone do. You could try to guide them as long as they're willing to help themselves, but you can never ever change someone. You can't. No matter how much potential you think that they have, you could always try to help them, try to talk with them, but you cannot change them. Point blank, period. So, yeah, I wonder what makes me want to do well. I get slapped in the face, but I think what makes me want to do well is because I know that at least if I give an effort, there's still a chance of what I want to happen. That's basically it. But it goes beyond that. Why do I want it for myself? There's something. I feel like there's something fulfilling on the other side. Now I know that in life the journey is what matters, but I do know and feel deep down that at the end of the day there's something rewarding on the other side of when I do what I believe is the right thing, and I won't stop. I can't stop. That's just something that I was born with, where if I'm not doing something, I'm thinking about what I need to do or what I gotta do. I just don't stop, man. I wish I could, but I can't figure that out. So that's just my blessing and a curse right there. But yeah, or what makes people motivated? Because there's a lot of people that, you got the people that commit suicide, you got the people who commit homicide. What drives them? And I feel like it all comes down to the same component, just different ways of pushing that out. Because I know that the fulfillment for me is just, it reminds myself, it gives me a sense of security that, I meant something, that I did something right, or, because I'm not trying to even try to talk about myself like I'm this great moral person, because at the end of the day, I'm not. I fall short of what, true, what's truly good and what's truly great. I'm not perfect at all. I'm far from it. But, I try to push myself to be close to perfect as I can. But I'm always going to fall short. I'm always going to do things that fall short of that and fall back a little bit. But even if I take a step back, I always have to take, a few more steps forward to make sure I still keep going. But even when I wasn't the way that I am now, but when I was more, I never had like the worst intention, but when I had more malicious intent, when I wasn't secure about myself, when I wasn't sure about who I was, what drove me to do the things that I needed to do was some sort of way of making myself feel like I had some sort of power, that I had something, that I meant something. And really, I think that's just the same for everybody, man. Because you look at what everyone in mankind did. You look at even the Romans, what they built, like Constantine. As crazy as that dude was. Constantine needed to feel like he meant something. That's why a lot of these people, these ancient people, had shrines of themselves. They were all idolaters. They all believed in idolizing themselves. They all wanted to become their own gods, because that was their way of showing that they meant something. They were so afraid of being like everyone else that they felt like it was some sort of insignificance. And really, at the end of the day, no matter who you are, no matter what your role is in life, you always have some sort of significance. You just have to find that. You could be fucking up your life right now. You could be doing all kinds of crazy shit and, doing absolutely nothing to benefit yourself. But at the end of the day, you still have potential. Now, I say that, not saying like you could, you're going to do it. No, I'm not saying you're going to do it. I'm just saying that you can. Because at the end of the day, man, there's plenty of things where people could do great things. You know how many people had great things that they could have done and would have done, but they just fucking didn't? I don't know why, because they're fucking scared as shit. And what drove them? What actually made them not drive to do that? What drove them away from what they could have done? I think it's the same thing. I think it's some sort of security type of thing, because their sense of security came from blending in with the crowd instead of being an outcast. I mean, but at the end of the day, I will let you know that being an outcast, at least for me, is more rewarding than any sort of approval that other people could give me. Because when you just sell yourself short of who you are and you put yourself in a box, I've done that before and it fucking sucks, man. I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. I did it for a little bit. I snapped out of it. I couldn't, like, my mind could not handle it. It drove me insane, but so many people live their life like that. And I wonder what drives them to do that. And I think it's also a sense of security. You look at people who need power, it's a sense of security. The people who commit suicide, even then, it's a sense of security that they don't have to deal with shit. It's a sense of security with the people who commit homicide, that they don't have to deal with other people, or a sense of security that they could do something, or some shit, some sort of fulfillment. But, I mean, I think that's what it is. It's fulfillment at the end of the day. It's some sort of fulfillment, some sort of security that people need. You just need to focus on what's the right type of security. You focus on the wrong thing, and you're going to damn yourself, man. And I don't just mean physically, I mean spiritually. And you could talk shit. You could say that you're an atheist. Look, bro. I mean, I'm not going to even get into a debate about that. That's another topic for another day that I will talk about. But, I mean, I'm just going to leave it at this. How do so many different religions and mythologies all talk about such similar things if there is no higher power? How in the world are you going to tell me that all these people that had these spiritual experiences were all hallucinating, yet they're all familiar, or they're all similar, I mean, to a certain extent, for the most part? how are you going to tell me, even the stuff that I've seen in my life, and you don't have to take my word for it, but I know what I've seen. All right, I've seen, I've seen, so some good side of, that spirituality and the Most High guiding me through stuff, and I've also seen some demonic stuff. Now, you could take that with a grain of salt. You could say that I'm hallucinating, whatever. I know what I've done. I know what I've seen. But anyways, that's another topic for another day. And yeah, you could also think what makes people an atheist. I think it's because they need a sense of security that they could do whatever they want. And they don't need to be controlled because they view a higher power as restrictive. When really, I mean, that's all about maturity. I think that what drives people today is just they feel like nothing has meaning, so they all need attention. I think I said that earlier. I probably did. I'll rewind this and realize I did or I didn't. But yeah, they need that sense of security. And that's why morality is going down, because the sense of security is to do whatever you want and you'll be happy. That's their sense of security. Is that security relies on them in this delusional happiness of doing whatever the hell you want, when in reality they don't even know what they want because there's no structure to their life. They don't go back and analyze. They just do whatever their emotions feel at the moment. And man, emotions could bring out great things in people, but it could also deceive people. It could also, because the heart could be a great thing, but the heart could be wicked. The heart could have you fall for the wrong person, and that person play you up and down. The heart could make you follow something that is completely immoral, but you just believe in your heart, oh, you feel this way, you're going to do it anyway. And sometimes, but that's their sense of security, is to follow their emotions. People who follow their emotions is sense of security. People who just want to be more logical, especially like me, where sometimes I think I'm a little bit too cold. I'm a little bit too calculated at times, but I feel like I have to be. That's my sense of security. Is to be more calculated and cold, and I have my reasons of the past on why I'm like that, but that's where my sense of security comes in. That kind of fulfills how I could live every day. But yeah, I really think that what drives mankind is a sense of security in one way or another. And we could talk about that in almost any topic, whether it's believing in a higher power. And I don't believe in a higher power just for security. I've actually been pretty agnostic. I've almost been basically agnostic is like thinking there is a higher power, but you don't know what it is, or not knowing, or thinking that there is or isn't, seeing both ways. I was kind of a borderline atheist at one point in my life because I didn't know what to believe in. I was just kind of, in shock. And then I just came along and started believing what I do now, which I believe in. I believe in the scriptures. I believe in prophecy. I believe in all that. And I never thought I would say that. I thought it was a whole bunch of nonsense till I started doing my research. And yeah, but that's another story for another day. Maybe I could just talk about that one among my people in private. But yeah, man, everything just comes down to security, and some people, they fall into a sense of false security, and they do all kinds of messed up things. People are willing to go through the ringer, go through the fire, and find real security. Some people do it from a more emotional standpoint, and some people do it from a more logical standpoint, a delusional standpoint and a substantial standpoint. Everyone does it for a different reason, but what drives people is security, is a sense of security. And that's just my conclusion. You can let me know what you think. With that being said, I thank you for listening. So peace.